Hi fellas, regarding Tommy Robinson and his recent release, as we know he'll probably have to go back and do a couple of months, but I can't see it personally. We all know he and indeed Britain First and Jada Franson and Paul Golding were doing the right thing, trying to highlight this ongoing mass endemic child abuse by one ideology. I don't think I'm allowed to mention what ideology it is, even though you know exactly what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about, because that would make it hate speech. Yes, it really would. Yeah, the thing is, in the UK, forever really, it's very class-ridden, it's very classist. All the policemen, very supremacist, the CPS, the media. You know, this is why you see these BBC guys and Guardian journalists who've all been to uni, they've all been indoctrinated since they were 18. Oh, it's all so peaceful, you know. Oh, the person that started this religion in 627 AD, he was the most beautiful person ever. He was the perfect individual. This is what they say about this guy from like 627 AD. Regarding Tommy, the way the justice system works in the UK is the state has all the money and almost limitless power and cash and money, resources, and of course it's so expensive to hire like a barrister. To hire a barrister now, it's over £700 per hour. And you can imagine how many hours you would need for him and other lawyers to mount a defence. You know, they're certainly going to have to sit there for a day or two going over the papers. So work it out for yourself. Each of them on £700 an hour. You know, for how many? 50 hours? Work it out for yourself, plus the profit margin. So basically, the standard of justice your ordinary working man gets, or even a career guy, a businessman in the UK, forbids you fighting anything mounted by the state. As with Tommy Robinson, you see, you know, I'm not a legal beagle, but it was quite obvious, even to me, that there was something seriously wrong with that prosecution, with the haste of it and the fact, you know, really everybody knew. The judge summarized it quite well. I've done loads of videos showing support for Tommy Robinson and Britain First, who are both doing the same thing basically. Tommy says in one of his videos what Jada and Paul were jailed for. We nearly got him for, or very nearly got him, and it cost him, Tommy Robinson, he says in one of his videos, and he says thank you to all his donators, it cost him £60,000 to get two of the top lawyers in the country to speak up for Tommy and mount a good defence to say why Tommy Robinson shouldn't have been sent to jail, just the same as Britain First were. Over the same case, over the 555 pizza migrant rapists in Kent. I was just reading that on Kent Live. They've got some articles. I'll try and put them underneath. They've got some good articles about this. They even mention what was said in court. And you know, one of the main detectives that was used in this case to prosecute Jada Franson for shouting, "You dirty bastards!" Do you know who he was? It was a DC hunter, and he was a special branch officer. Special branch. Now, a lot of you guys won't know. Special branch are the people that work and they work quite well, I must say, to defeat homegrown terrorists, ISIS bombers. They intercept their emails. You know, they'll follow them around. They'll put bugs in the house. They've done this. They've actually caught many ISIS by doing this, and whatever Boko Haram, whoever's been investigating, all credit to them. But the thing is, it is not normal for a special branch police officer to be involved in a contempt of court case. I mean, I don't know what they're on. A normal policeman's on about £45,000 a year. It's probably gone up a bit now. That was on the Met a couple of years ago. £45,000 a year, and a great deal, most of that is classed as housing benefits. This is so we can say the official wage for a policeman is only about 18,000 or 17,000, but they actually end up getting £45,000 a year because a lot of it's classed as untaxed housing allowance. So this is how they avoid a lot of tax. Not knocking that, but I mean, a special branch officer, certainly a detective, would be on a lot more than that. He'd be on like 120 grand a year, and a bit like the Rotherham councillors, the Rotherham entirely Asian councillors, and in Telford, another case that came out just last year, the Telford mass sex abuse case. Thousands and thousands of girls have been attacked, you know, raped in every orifice as normal, used by these disgraceful supremacist men. And how come it's gone on for so long? You know, why haven't they put pressure on this community to stop it, to issue a fatwa to stop it, which they could do? Why not? Because I've seen a picture of the Telford county councillors and council employees, and everyone but one in this room of 40 people. It was the county councillors at the front, some of the senior employees at the back, and every man and woman in this room was not of European white extraction. Let's put it that way. All but one. I think the chairperson was white, native European background. All the rest of them were of a darker complexion. I don't want to bring any words into it, but so, and they're all on about £120,000 a year before tax. You know, so is it any wonder they've not gone out of the way to expose the fact that drugs dealing minority have been raping their girls for years. They've actually killed 3 or 4 girls in Telford, Shropshire. It's lovely Shropshire. It's very wealthy, very middle class. You know, there's a lot of policemen there and businessmen with big units and doing exports, and lots of lawyers live around there. It's quite wooded and beautiful, Staffordshire. A lot more so than most places. But it didn't save them. It didn't save them. Them feeling upper class, feeling part of the establishment. It didn't save their kids being killed by these drug dealing people. And on just one case, I'm digressing a little bit, but just to give you the background, in one case, one of these gangs of paedophiles who were attacking these 13, 14-year-old girls, they got wind of the fact they might be going to the police, and they set this family's house alight, and 3 girls died. All the children died in the house. But you see, in their ideology, you've got to understand, it's never been peaceful, it's never been lovely, a little bit to each other perhaps, but it's based on thievery and dominance and slavery. This is how this empire was built since 627 AD on the Arabian Peninsula. In under 100 years, they took Spain. They were occupying the whole of Spain in like 100 and odd years, just under 100 years. It was nothing to do with peace, it was to do with invasion and blitzkrieg attacks. This is where Adolf got his blitzkrieg attacks from. So you've got to realise, for any ordinary English guy, as far as justice goes, it's a waste of time basically. The state has got the power and you have not. When it can cost £200,000 to try and fight a prosecution against trusted, immune policemen, what chance does any guy have, really? No chance at all. And there have been cases. I mean, I witnessed once, one dark night, 2 policemen kicking somebody's front door in, and I heard him shout, "Oh, that locks and locked, doesn't it?" In case anyone was listening. I was peeping out. They couldn't see me. I could see them. And he was a suspected criminal, no doubt. You know, I realise this. Probably just couldn't be bothered coming back. And they kicked his door open. Under cover of darkness. These 2 police officers, you know, in a police car. You know, they were uniformed police officers. You know, I don't see anyone. I don't see. Would you dare report them, knowing that you're going to go out the way to tell your employer you're being, you know, anti-police, you're being anti-state? It's like everyone's scared, basically. Everyone's scared. Like at the Tommy Robinson protest, there were teachers and firemen who were laid off for showing any support, for saying, "Yeah, I think Tommy's doing a good thing." There were actually teachers and policemen, I think, and firemen who were actually put on suspension for daring to say, "Well, I think Tommy's doing a good job." "Oh, that's it. You're suspended, mate. You're a racist." That's how it is in the UK. Has been for years. It's trying to rain, so I'll call that it. Basically, unless you're filthy rich, absolutely filthy rich, you can't fight the state. That's why Tommy's got some justice and got a release after practically being killed in jail. And this is why Britain First and Jada Franson didn't manage to beat this pathetic prosecution. I mean, reading the transcript from Kent Live, it's actually saying, "Why did you call these?" This was a question to Paul Golding. "Why did you call these men filthy rapists, whatever?" Paul Golding gave the answer I would. Well, they are, aren't they? They are, aren't they? Well, yes, they really are. And you should never have gone to court. Furthermore, I wonder if the entire thing wasn't a setup. A setup, bearing in mind, special branch were involved. Intelligence, you know, anti-terrorist police were involved. So, you know, who's told them to get involved? I wonder. I wonder who's told them to get involved. DC Hunt, I think it was. Special branch. These are the people that monitored ISIS terrorists. So they're painting Paul and Jada for daring to call these people what they really are. Filthy rapists, bar stewards. They bring in the anti-terrorist police. Thanks Theresa May for really doing the wrong thing yet again. And we want Brexit. We're not really kowtowing to powerful Germany anymore. You know, I don't want the Audis and the BMWs. Just tax them all, get us out, and let's try and rebuild our North Sea with fish, because it's practically dead now, the North Sea, due to these big EU boats. So I've covered a lot there, haven't I? But you know, as I say, we all know in the UK, the police, CPS have the power. You know, they can lie through the teeth, say you did something when you didn't. You know, you'll still go down for it, especially if you're not one of their class, not in the Masons. You know, you're not working for a newspaper, you haven't been to university. You know, you're going down, and make no mistake about it. If you can't afford to stump up £120,000 for a special defence, you're going down, because all you get, if you're arrested, all you get is a few £100 in legal aid. You know, it's cheap justice on the cheap, absolute garbage justice what ordinary people get, or even like middle class people. Because, you know, even a guy with a 4-bedroom, lovely house in like Staffordshire, like I say, or Sussex, you know, where does he lay his hands on like £100,000 cash? You know, nowhere, unless he's got a very rich uncle or something. Nowhere. You're just going down. And not to say that CPS don't, you know, often get the right people for the right crimes to do, but you know, there's a lot of corruption there. There's a lot of times when innocent people get sent to jail. Google the Birmingham 6. What happened in the 70s? They sent 5 innocent men to jail on the word of an informer, a paid informer in Ireland. Okay, see you guys. Bye bye.